A pillar of 1970s television, Sanford and Son broke barriers with its bold humor, dynamic characters, and fearless storytelling. The chemistry between its performers turned the series into a cultural milestone that still resonates across decades. As the years have passed, several actors who helped bring the show's hilarious world to life are no longer with us. This tribute revisits their unforgettable roles, the comedic brilliance they shared, and the legacy that continues to inspire new generations of sitcom lovers. Their work shaped the identity of one of TV's most influential shows, and though they may be gone, the laughter they created will never fade. Redd Foxx, born December 9, 1922 in St. Louis, Missouri, took on the role of Fred G. Sanford in 1972 at the age of 50, instantly transforming the junkyard patriarch into a cultural icon with his razor-sharp wit, relentless sarcasm, and legendary fake heart attacks. Fred Sanford was grumpy, yet irresistibly endearing, a hustler whose scheming was tempered by a hidden heart of gold, making audiences laugh while secretly empathizing with his flaws. Fox's childhood was a crucible of hardship. He grew up in poverty during the Great Depression, losing his father early, and enduring constant ridicule from peers for his small stature and outspoken nature, which forced him to cultivate a tough exterior and a biting sense of humor as a shield. Professionally, he carved a path in stand-up comedy that was groundbreaking, yet rife with turbulence. He battled producers for pay, and creative control faced public backlash for raunchy routines, and suffered the infamous IRS raids that seized his Las Vegas home, exposing his financial recklessness. He was notorious for gambling binges, erratic behavior, and volatile interpersonal relationships, including 4 marriages punctuated by scandalous separations. The largest career blow came when a high-profile television venture collapsed after contract disputes, leaving him publicly humiliated despite his popularity. His personal life mirrored professional chaos, with tumultuous relationships, estranged children, and persistent health struggles. Redd Foxx died on October 11, 1991 at age 68 from a massive heart attack while rehearsing for the royal family in Los Angeles. His estate was in shocking financial disarray, with a negative net worth of $3 million, despite earning millions per episode, leaving a cautionary tale of fame's fragility intertwined with genius. Fox's legacy is a study in contrast, comedic brilliance, shadowed by personal and financial tumult, yet his indelible impact on American humor remains unparalleled. LaWanda Page, born October 19, 1920 in Cleveland, Ohio, entered Sanford and Son in 1973 at age 53 as Aunt Esther Anderson, the sanctimonious Bible-wielding adversary whose verbal assaults on Fred Sanford became legendary. Aunt Esther was fiery, uncompromising, and endlessly entertaining, her sharp tongue and moral rigidity a constant foil to Fred's mischief-shaping audience expectations of the archetypal sitcom nemesis. Page's early life was far from easy. Raised in a working-class family, with limited means, she faced racial prejudice and societal restrictions on women, experiences that forged her resilient, unapologetic persona and fueled the brazen humor that defined her stage career. She began as a nightclub performer, billed as the Bronze Goddess of Fire, and her provocative, often explicit comedy albums shocked conservative audiences while cementing her status as a boundary-pushing artist. Despite a comparatively scandal-free public profile, she battled industry sexism, endured periods of financial uncertainty, and navigated a male-dominated comedy scene where her talent often went undervalued. Personal life challenges included periods of isolation, unreported romantic entanglements, and the sacrifices demanded by a life on the road that kept her from traditional domestic stability. LaWanda Page died on September 14, 2002 at age 81 from complications of diabetes, leaving behind a net worth estimated at $500,000, accumulated through decades of performance television work and album sales. Her legacy endures not through wealth but cultural resonance. A trailblazer who balanced piety and provocation, Aunt Esther remains a touchstone of unapologetic comedic power and audacity in American television history. Don Bexley, born March 10, 1910 in Jamestown, Virginia, joined Sanford and Son in 1972 at age 62 as Bubba Bexley, the genial, easygoing sidekick, whose calm demeanor provided the perfect counterbalance to Fred Sanford's tempestuous antics. Bubba's on-screen persona exuded warmth, loyalty, and steady comic timing, cementing him as a beloved presence in the show's ensemble, while endearing him to audiences who admired his understated humor. Bexley's childhood was marked by adversity. He grew up in segregated Virginia during an era of deep racial prejudice, navigating poverty and the societal limitations that forced him to cultivate self-reliance, patience, and a resilient sense of humor as a survival mechanism. His career, spanning decades before television fame, was groundbreaking. He broke barriers as the first Black comedian in the Borscht Belt hotel circuit, yet faced repeated professional challenges, including late entry into TV, underappreciated talent, and occasional disputes over creative credit. Unlike many of his co-stars, Bexley maintained relative personal stability, though he was known for a flamboyant lifestyle love of entertaining and occasional disagreements with collaborators that hinted at a strong, stubborn streak. His personal life included discreet romantic entanglements, minor financial missteps, and the usual pressures of sustaining a long career in entertainment, yet he avoided major scandals. Don Bexley passed away on April 15, 1997 at age 87 from heart and kidney failure in Hampton, Virginia. At the time of his death, his estate was valued at approximately $13 million, reflecting shrewd investments, decades of performance, and enduring residuals, a remarkable accumulation given the obstacles he overcame. Bexley's legacy is a testament to perseverance and talent, triumphing over systemic barriers, leaving a narrative of both personal and professional triumph in the annals of American comedy. Whitman Mayo, born November 15, 1930 in New York City, stepped into Sanford and Son in 1973 at age 43 as Grady Wilson, the slow-talking, endearing sidekick who temporarily filled the gap during Redd Foxx's contract disputes. Grady's charm lay in his disarming naivete and homespun wisdom, offering both comic relief and an unexpected moral compass that endeared him to viewers while balancing Fred Sanford's abrasive energy. Yet Mayo's off-screen life painted a far darker picture. His childhood was marked by extreme poverty and family instability in Depression-era New York, leaving him to navigate hunger-crowded tenements and frequent public humiliation, forging a resilience and quick wit that would later define his career. Despite his iconic role, his career was riddled with setbacks. He endured typecasting, uneven pay, and repeated frustrations over stalled or canceled spin-offs, including a failed attempt at a Grady-centric series that left him embittered and professionally sidelined. Colleagues sometimes described him as difficult, prone to manipulation, to secure roles or negotiate billing, and prone to heated arguments that jeopardized projects. His personal life mirrored this turbulence. 3 marriages, financial instability, and strained relationships with children, compounded by long periods of health struggles and quiet desperation. His most crushing blow came when he was bypassed for larger, higher-profile roles. Despite his cultural impact and affront, he reportedly never fully recovered from emotionally. Whitman Mayo died on May 22, 2001 at 70 from a heart attack in Atlanta, following complications from hernia surgery, leaving a net worth of roughly $1 million, largely derived from television and film appearances, including small roles in Boys in the Hood, guest spots, and residuals. His legacy endures as a cultural touchstone of warmth and humor, yet beneath the genial exterior was a man who battled financial precarity, professional setbacks, and personal loss, a testament to the unvarnished hardships behind Hollywood success. Nathaniel Taylor, born March 31, 1938 in St. Louis, Missouri, joined Sanford and Son in 1972 at age 34 as Rollo Larson, the streetwise, fast-talking friend of Lamont, whose flashy style, relentless schemes, and magnetic charisma brought a combustible energy to the junkyard world, often creating both hilarity and tension on screen. Rollo's character thrived on opportunism, cunning, and charm, providing audiences with a morally flexible figure who could simultaneously frustrate and delight. Taylor's early life was steeped in adversity. Growing up in a racially segregated working-class St. Louis neighborhood, he faced economic hardship, societal discrimination, and family instability, all of which he masked with humor and toughness traits that inform both his military service as a Marine and his later career. His professional journey was a roller coaster he navigated, repeated typecasting, inconsistent employment, and disputes over on-set behavior, with whispers of off-camera conflicts, arguments over scenes and tensions with producers that sometimes threatened projects. A particularly devastating career low occurred when a TV pilot in which he had invested hope and personal energy was abruptly canceled, forcing him to retreat into smaller roles and stymieing his potential for mainstream stardom. Personal life challenges mirrored these patterns. 2 marriages, 7 children, financial difficulties and periods of estrangement, coupled with rumored health problems that hampered both work and private life. Nathaniel Taylor died on February 27, 2019 at 80 from a heart attack in Los Angeles, leaving a modest net worth of approximately $300,000, a reflection of sporadic TV work and roles in blaxploitation cinema like Willie Dynamite. Taylor's legacy is layered, a captivating, slyly humorous performer whose charm masked personal and professional turbulence, whose brief but memorable presence on television belied a lifetime of struggle, resilience, and unfulfilled ambition. Gregory Sierra, born January 25, 1937 in Manhattan, New York, appeared in Sanford and Son in 1972 at age 35 as Julio Fuentes, the cultured, intelligent Puerto Rican neighbor who provided a steady, witty foil to Fred Sanford's prejudices, using humor and moral clarity to highlight social issues while maintaining a likable on-screen persona. Julio's character was optimistic, engaging, and morally grounded, offering both tension and comic relief that enriched the series and cemented Sierra's presence as a character actor of depth. However, Sierra's off-screen life carried shadows that few knew. Growing up in a financially insecure, racially segregated Manhattan environment, he endured mockery, marginalization, and the pressure of supporting his family from an early age, which fueled both his determination and a private melancholy. Professionally, he achieved steady success with television roles on Sanford and Son, Barney Miller, and Miami Vice. Yet his career was punctuated by disputes with producers, creative disagreements, and industry politics, often testing his patience and reputation. Personal tragedy compounded these stresses. The suicide of his second wife left a profound emotional scar, while long periods of illness and strained relationships with friends and family added layers of isolation. His commitment to social activism and challenging on-screen stereotypes sometimes put him at odds with industry norms, reflecting a life lived with principle amid adversity. Gregory Sierra died on January 4, 2021 at 83 from stomach and liver cancer in Laguna Woods, California, leaving a net worth of approximately $2 million accumulated from decades of consistent but not blockbuster work. His legacy is that of a resilient, principled performer who navigated private sorrow and public expectation, blending humor, intellect, and moral courage, both on-screen and in life, a figure whose depth extended far beyond the laughter he inspired. Fritzie Burr, born on May 31, 1924 in Philadelphia, appeared in Sanford and Son in 1974 at age 50, as the quirky razor-tongued woman on the plane, bringing her trademark comic timing to a brief but memorable appearance that left audiences chuckling long after the scene ended. Burr's characters were always sharp, sardonic, and effortlessly funny, a reflection of her real-life resilience and wit honed on Broadway stages alongside legends like Barbra Streisand before migrating to television and film bit parts. Her childhood in Philadelphia was marked by economic hardship and social invisibility. Raised in a modest household, she often faced teasing and exclusion. Learning to hide her insecurities behind humor and precocious cleverness, a skill that would define her acting style. Career-wise, she faced a decades-long uphill climb, Broadway roles that didn't pay well, television gigs that required relentless self-promotion, and occasional clashes with producers and co-stars who found her candor intimidating. While she avoided major public scandal, whispers of diva-like behavior on set persisted, reflecting a woman fiercely protective of her craft and reputation. Her greatest career setback came when a promising lead on a television pilot in the 1960s was recast, a blow that almost ended her trajectory in TV, but instead redirected her toward character roles that would become her signature. Personal life challenges included navigating long-term singlehood and private griefs that she rarely disclosed, maintaining a private life, largely shielded from media scrutiny. In her later years, Burr faced health struggles typical of someone in their 70s, yet she remained sharp-witted, continuing to perform in guest roles and occasional theater work. She died on January 17, 2003 in Fort Myers, Florida, at 78 from natural causes. Her estate, surprisingly robust at $9 million, included real estate accumulated royalties from decades of stage, television, and film work, and shrewd investments. Raymond Allen, born on March 5, 1929 in Kansas City, Missouri, stepped into Sanford and Son in 1974 at age 45 as Uncle Woody Anderson, the long-suffering, mild-mannered husband of Aunt Esther, whose genial meekness provided the perfect foil for Esther's fiery intensity. Woody was endearing and subtly comedic, his quiet exasperation delivering laughs that stem from restraint rather than spectacle, a style Allen perfected from his own early experiences. Growing up in Missouri, Allen endured a childhood shadowed by the Great Depression, frequent relocations, and the social marginalization of a working-class family, forcing him to internalize his feelings and cultivate patience and observational acuity traits that would later enhance his acting. His career was steady but low profile, punctuated by early work in theater and television, before illness forced him into early retirement in the 1980s. He was known for professionalism, but occasionally clashed with producers over working hours and scripts, highlighting a quiet insistence on dignity. His most significant career setback came when a recurring sitcom opportunity vanished due to network decisions, leaving him largely on the sidelines while peers ascended. Personal life challenges were equally measured but real, balancing family responsibilities with professional uncertainty, raising 3 children and navigating periods of declining health, which occasionally strained finances and relationships. Despite these difficulties, Allen maintained a reputation for reliability and understated comedic skill, earning respect from colleagues and audiences alike. He died on August 10, 2020 in California at 91 from a respiratory illness, leaving behind a modest estate that reflected decades of disciplined work and entertainment, with net worth likely in the low 6 figures. His legacy is that of a quiet, skillful actor whose gentle humor and steady presence enriched every scene, offering a subtle but enduring contribution to the golden era of television comedy. Pat Morita, born on June 28, 1932 in Isledon, California, brought Ah Chu, the eccentric Japanese neighbor, to life in Sanford and Son in 1974 at age 42 years before his iconic performance as Mr. Miyagi would immortalize him in popular culture. Ah Chu's quirky, affable personality and his role as the frequent butt of Fred Sanford's jokes allowed Morita to explore comedy that balanced physicality with nuanced timing, reflecting both his own resilience and a profound understanding of marginalization. His early life was marked by severe adversity. Born to Japanese-American parents, he and his family endured internment during World War II, and as a child he battled spinal tuberculosis that left him hospitalized for years. Experiences that cultivated patience, determination, and a darkly humorous view of life. Morita's career trajectory was fraught with challenges. After starting as a stand-up comic billed as the Hip Nip, he faced racial typecasting, career slumps, and occasional confrontations with producers over how Japanese characters were portrayed. Personal demons, including bouts of alcoholism, compounded his struggles, while romantic relationships were complicated and intermittent, often strained by long periods on the road and the pressures of performance. His most significant professional disappointment occurred during the 1960s and early 70s, when studio executives repeatedly passed over him for serious dramatic roles, relegating him to supporting or stereotypical characters despite evident talent. Morita later found stability through film work and voice acting, yet his resilience never erased the scars of early trauma and ongoing professional marginalization. He died on November 24, 2005 in Las Vegas, Nevada, at 73 from kidney failure. At the time of his death, his estate, including property royalties from films, television, and voice work, was valued around $5 million. Morita's legacy endures as a trailblazer who broke stereotypes with humor, warmth, and profound skill, demonstrating that persistence and self-belief could transform hardship into enduring art that resonated across generations. Noam Pitlick was born on November 4, 1932 in Philadelphia, and appeared as Officer Swanee Swanhauser in 1972 at the age of 40, bringing to the role a uniquely nervous energy that amplified the comedic tension whenever he crossed paths with Fred Sanford. Swanee was inept, yet well-meaning a character whose oblivious adherence to protocol contrasted sharply with Fred's street-smart cynicism, creating a dynamic that became iconic in the series' early seasons. Pitlick's childhood was shaped by modest circumstances and instability, growing up in a household where financial strain and emotional distance forced him to develop a sense of self-reliance and a wry sense of humor to navigate teasing from peers and the pressures of adolescence. He learned early to mask insecurity with cleverness and timing traits that would serve him well in Hollywood. His professional journey was far from smooth. He spent years on the fringes of television, struggling to find substantial work, often being cast in small, forgettable parts, and occasionally clashing with producers who found him difficult or opinionated. His most notable career highlight came as a director, winning an Emmy for his work on Barney Miller and overseeing episodes of Taxi and Wings. Yet this success came after years of financial uncertainty and near obscurity, and he often faced intense pressure to balance his directorial vision with network demands. Pitlick's personal life was equally complex. He endured 3 marriages, each fraught with challenges stemming from long work hours and the intense demands of the entertainment industry, while also managing complicated relationships with stepchildren and colleagues who sometimes struggled to reconcile his sharp wit with his human vulnerabilities. He died from lung cancer on February 18, 1999 in Los Angeles at 66, leaving behind a net worth of roughly $5 million, derived from decades of directing, acting, and residuals, and a legacy defined by his dual mastery of comedy, both in front of and behind the camera, leaving a mark as a man who combined ingenuity, persistence, and uncompromising dedication in an unpredictable industry. Marlene Clark was born on December 19, 1937 in New York City, and appeared as Janet Lawson in Sanford and Son in 1976 at age 38, portraying Lamont's sophisticated and independent girlfriend, whose poise and intelligence often contrasted with Fred Sanford's cantankerous energy. Janet's elegance, wit, and moral clarity provided both a grounding influence and occasional source of friction in the junkyard's chaotic environment, giving the series a layer of social and emotional nuance that audiences responded to immediately. Clark's early life was marked by hardship and the need to navigate a society rife with racial and economic inequality. Growing up in Harlem, she faced limited opportunities, the constant challenge of prejudice and pressure, to hide her ambitions behind resilience and grace, shaping her into a woman capable of confronting adversity with intelligence and composure. Her career was both pioneering and fraught with obstacles. Transitioning from modeling to acting, she took roles in groundbreaking films such as Ganja and Hess and Enter the Dragon, enduring harassment, near assault, and constant marginalization as a Black actress in Hollywood, while managing the intense scrutiny and pressures of fame. Clark's personal life reflected similar turbulence, including a brief marriage to Billy D. Williams, complicated romantic entanglements, and emotional trauma from professional and personal experiences that left long-lasting impressions. She also faced the systemic challenge of being celebrated for her talent, while simultaneously denied the financial rewards that might have accompanied it, resulting in a modest net worth of approximately $1 million at the time of her death. Clark passed away at her home in Los Angeles on May 18, 2023 at the age of 85. While the cause of death was not publicly disclosed, she left behind a legacy as a trailblazer in Black cinema and television, a woman of extraordinary beauty, intelligence, and resilience who navigated Hollywood's inequities with tenacity and grace, remembered as much for her pioneering artistry as for the strength she displayed in both her professional and personal life. Frank Nelson was born on May 6, 1911 in Colorado Springs and appeared in Sanford and Son in 1976 at age 65 as a co-pilot, delivering his signature sardonic humor and iconic yes catchphrase in a brief but memorable role that highlighted his mastery of timing and comic delivery. Nelson's co-pilot was emblematic of his career-long persona, sharp-tongued curmudgeonly, and often the perfect foil for more chaotic or naive characters traits that endeared him to audiences over decades of radio, television, and film performances. Nelson's early life was marked by modest circumstances and the necessity of forging a career in entertainment during the Great Depression, navigating economic instability, personal loss, and the pressures of developing a distinctive voice and comedic identity in a highly competitive environment. His professional trajectory included a lifetime of nuanced typecast roles, careful cultivation of his trademark persona, and a protective vigilance over the comedic niche that made him famous, occasionally leading to disputes with producers or colleagues over the use of his catchphrase or comedic style. While Nelson remained largely free from scandal, he experienced personal hardships common to performers of his era, long periods away from family, due to work commitments, the challenge of balancing a public persona with private needs, and navigating the volatility of a career that offered fame but also precarious stability. He died from cancer on September 12, 1986 in Hollywood at age 75, leaving a net worth of roughly $2 million accumulated through decades of acting, voice work, and television residuals. Nelson's legacy is defined by the transformation of his singular catchphrase into a hallmark of American comedic culture, demonstrating the power of precision timing and personality in an industry where even brief appearances could become enduring cultural touchstones, and leaving a blueprint for generations of comedians who followed in his footsteps. Slappy White, born September 27, 1921 in Baltimore, Maryland, stepped into Sanford and Son in 1972 at the age of 51 as Melvin, the quick-witted, street-smart friend whose comedic timing and sly commentary provided a counterpoint to Fred Sanford's gruff cynicism. Melvin's presence was both a comic relief and a reflection of White's own legendary stage persona, a product of decades performing in the Chitlin circuit, honing material that spoke truth to racial struggles with a mischievous grin. White's early life was steeped in hardship. Born into a working-class family facing racial prejudice and economic instability, he endured relentless teasing and the sting of societal marginalization experiences that shaped both his humor and his guarded personal demeanor. Professionally, White navigated a treacherous entertainment landscape. Despite being a trailblazer alongside Redd Foxx and other black comics, he faced systemic pay disparities, typecasting, and periods of career stagnation that left him vulnerable to financial strain. Rumors circulated of a fiery temperament, backstage gambling habits, and impulsive decisions that occasionally jeopardized his engagements. His most significant professional setback came with a failed Vegas revue in the early 1960s, a project that nearly bankrupted him and exposed the precarious nature of black performers' livelihoods in mainstream venues. Personal life offered little reprieve. Multiple marriages, including to singer Laverne Baker, ended in turbulent separations, and friendships were often strained by conflicting professional ambitions and unspoken rivalries. White also poured energy into civil rights activism, using comedy as a weapon against injustice, which occasionally attracted controversy and friction within showbiz circles. Later life brought health challenges and the gradual erosion of his once vigorous stage presence. White died on November 7, 1995 in Brigantine, New Jersey, at age 74 from heart failure. His estate, estimated at around $500,000, included modest property performance royalties and memorabilia. Nancy Culp, born August 28, 1921 in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, appeared in Sanford and Son in 1975 at the age of 54 as May Hopkins, the prim, officious social worker whose clashing etiquette with Fred Sanford amplified the show's satirical edge. May's meticulous, judgmental demeanor reflected both a comic exaggeration and a subtle critique of social bureaucracy, with Culp imbuing the character with a deadpan wit that made her simultaneously exasperating and endearing to audiences. Culp's formative years were fraught with adversity. Born into a family facing economic instability and limited prospects for women in the early 20th century, she confronted repeated social condescension and the necessity of masking her true ambitions, developing a guarded, strategic personality that would serve her well in a male-dominated entertainment industry. Her career was marked by both triumph and turbulence. A W.A. Wison Lee's Navy veteran and academically gifted, she was drawn to Hollywood's complex politics, pursuing roles while contending with typecasting and occasionally bitter professional rivalries. Notably, her controversial congressional campaign in the 1980s stirred tension with co-stars including Buddy Ebsen, who publicly opposed her candidacy, revealing Hollywood's fragile alliances and the resistance faced by women in political spheres. Culp also maintained a private life marked by discretion and rumored LGBTQ relationships in a period when such matters could destroy a career, balancing her personal authenticity with the era's public prudence. Her health, especially later in life, suffered due to a combination of stress and medical issues that limited her mobility and professional options. Culp passed away on February 3, 1991 in Palm Desert, California, at age 69 from cancer. Her net worth at death was approximately $1 million derived from television royalties, public speaking, and modest investments. Helen Martin, born July 23, 1909 in St. Louis, Missouri, appeared in Sanford and Son in 1976 at the age of 67 as the First Lady, a sharp-tongued church matriarch whose acerbic wit and fearless commentary illuminated the series' social and generational tensions. Her on-screen presence was formidable, blending humor with incisive social critique, while her off-screen persona reflected decades of struggle, resilience, and advocacy for Black performers in an entertainment industry rife with discrimination. Martin's childhood was marked by economic hardship and familial instability, forcing her to develop both self-reliance and a keen observational sense that would become a hallmark of her craft. Her career trajectory was remarkable, but punctuated by battles against systemic prejudice. As a co-founder of the American Negro Theater, she fought to create opportunities for Black actors while contending with typecasting, limited roles, and occasional dismissive attitudes from white-dominated Hollywood circles. Industry whispers recounted her sharp tongue and occasional confrontations on set, though colleagues also recognized her as fiercely loyal and uncompromising in her standards. Personal relationships remained private. Martin never married or had children, choosing instead to devote herself to mentorship, theater, and television work, though this solitude sometimes invited speculation and rumors about her personal life. She faced health challenges in her later years, along with the natural toll of a 6-decade career filled with relentless travel and stage performances. Martin died on March 25, 2000 in Monterey, California, at age 90 from a heart attack. Her estate, valued between $1 or $3 million, included property, royalties, and professional memorabilia. Thank you for watching as we reflected on the lives and legacies of the actors from Sanford and Son who are no longer with us. Their humor, charm, and unforgettable performances brought joy to millions and helped shape the show into a classic. While their journeys ended far too soon, their impact lives on through every scene, every laugh, and every memory they've left behind. As we honor their lives, we're reminded of how deeply television can touch our hearts. Join us next time as we look back at more stars who left us too soon, but whose stories continue to shine.